record low unemployment rate. What can the school district do to ensure our graduates are prepared for the jobs that are available?
I don't know if we can foresee exactly what jobs are going to be available. Again, last week I went to the Wisconsin Association of School Boards convention, and one of the speakers there was talking about changes taking place in our educational environment and in our society and our world, especially with regard to robotics. A lot of emphasis on robotics. And one of the startling things that this person said was that within about 10 years, maybe less, 65% of the jobs that are out there now will be gone. What? That's pretty startling. Another thing he said was that there will be more low-paying jobs, service-type jobs. So that's something to really think about. And I think our district is doing quite well in terms of having a very broad selection of courses, extracurricular activities, and the like for students to participate in. And we have a strong technical program. Students can take that route if they want to. And another thing the speaker presented was how some of the highest or most taken courses in two-year college pay maybe $75,000 when the students get out, whereas the most used courses in four-year college might only pay $45,000. Of course, if you take a doctoral program or something like that, or a lawyer, you would probably fare better. But there's many changes taking place, and our district is addressing to try to keep up with that, but I don't know that anyone can really project exactly what's going to happen in the future.
I served on economic development in Washington County, and one of the things that I learned that was actually a little bit startling was that there were many employers that could not find people to work because they were looking for people who had technical backgrounds so they could operate, for instance, a punch press, and it was a very well-paying, good-paying job, but they couldn't find anyone to take it. And their perspective was, and this was a number of years ago, that there was a gap. There was a gap because perhaps someone was encouraging students to go get a four-year degree. Well, with a four-year degree, maybe you don't think about operating a punch press, and yet here are these fantastic jobs that go unfilled. So I agree with many of the things that Mr. Schmiege said, and that is, first of all, we need to understand what our children want to do, what are their aptitudes, and we do that by having a broad array of offerings at school. Like, we start there, we encourage and we foster, we understand what do they want to do, because we want them to be happy in their job, first of all. But then what we also should do is we should listen to employers and see what are some needs that are out there. Not to force children down a certain path, but to understand possibilities and educate them about those possibilities. I'd also say that one of the things that seems to be in common with just about every job, including mine, there's some aspect of technology. We need to be very sure that we educate folks on technology at common base. And let's be very strong in the normal skills like English and math, which really are used in just about any occupation. But again, I think it's an opportunity for the board and the district to listen and to understand what's going on in the world so that we can better educate our children and also expose them to a broad variety of topics, careers, so they can make a great decision.
I as well believe that in West Bend, students have many opportunities and many choices, and I think that in West Bend, having Marine Park so close by is really great too, because I'm a Marine Park fan. I'm a graduate of there. I went to nursing school there, and I think it's a great school. I also believe that, I also heard this week that there's a 45-year low in labor force participation in 20 to 24-year-olds, and 18 to 19-year-olds is an all-time low. So if that's true, what I heard, that tells me that maybe the work ethic needs to improve in just just in the generation that's coming up. And that's one of the reasons that I would really like to bring to the table, helping kids realize that you don't have to stay in school for 4 years. You get your credits and you can go out, you can move on, you can go to college. You can start a career, maybe you want to start a business. Just giving kids that thought that, I don't want to say keeping them perpetually juveniles in school, but in a way that is what happens. If kids don't want to be in school and they don't need all those credits to go to university and they want to go and do something else, we should encourage that. Encourage adulthood to start sooner. And I think that that is going to help build a strong work ethic because they realize, wow, I can go on, I can get a job, I can make some money, and that encourages everybody, right?
Thank you very much.